Hi guys, how you going? Jason Andrew here, and I'm here for day 3 of our program, the My Life Plan program that I've been doing for free. Day 3 of 3, and then today is going to be, I'm bringing it all together, and it's really exciting where I'm going to unveil to you the program that we have developed over months of getting feedback and getting it right for you guys to be able to implement the plan so that you can start achieving the goals that you want to achieve. And this is based on 23 years of experience, having owned businesses, grown them, sold them, having serviced over 1,500 clients in our financial planning business, and and being online and getting lots of feedback. So I'm really excited to do this because the impact that we've been able to have with people that we've worked with has been really rewarding. And I love getting the messages from you on what you have been able to achieve in implementing the things that we have been teaching you. So let me just do a really quick recap. Over the last 2 days, you have learned a couple of things. For the first thing was, in the My Life Plan program, we work hard with you to understand what's important to you, and knowing what's important to you is essential so that you can create a plan and goals based around things that matter most to you. And the way that we do that, you saw some tools that I shared, which we're going to keep up here for a little bit, so that you can sort of go in there and get that information for free. You learn how to create your own value proposition, your personal value proposition, showed how to reframe your past and boost your personal self-esteem through reframing what we call your winner's image. And then I showed you how to create some really awesome tools by creating your definite chief aim. And what your definite chief aim does, it gives you something higher purpose to try and strive for. And when you're living in this kind of environment, you can just push past all the negativity. You can push past any bad comments that you get, and you feel strong in your position. And I know this from experience because I do it myself every single day. And yesterday was another day where we showed you some other fantastic tools that you can implement so that you can showed you how to actually create your own strategy, your own personal strategy map that we've adapted from corporates, that some corporations spend millions of dollars to get that information to work within their businesses. I showed you how you can do that simply and easily in a matter of minutes. So the tools that we've got are pretty powerful. I'm going to take about 30 minutes today. And if you haven't watched the previous videos, do so, because it will make this have a bit more context, but doesn't mean you can't sort of watch this one because a lot of gems. I'm going to uncover for you 2 key things that help people actually stay on track. Now, we've done a lot of groundwork in understanding your values. We showed you how to create a plan. Now we need to show you how to increase that plan and increase the likelihood of you getting success in that plan. Now, if you had, I'm going to add, let me just share the screen here. So you can see here the name of our program, we've called it My Life Plan so that you can stay in the arena. And I keep saying this, but the reason why we call it My Life Plan is because from experience, we've had people pay us thousands of dollars to create a plan for them to get all excited, do something that they get, jump up and down about and feel really motivated for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then after that, they sort of life gets in the way and they don't revisit that plan until their annual review or half-yearly review. So what we have for you, so that's why I decided to call this program the My Life Plan. So we want to create a plan that you're actually living. I gave you some tips on how to do that yesterday, and now I'm going to give you some tips on how you can keep living that plan so that you can have that success. So that is really the key to success, is actually living your plan, not creating it. Anyone can do a vision board. Anyone can sort of create nice statements, but it's actually living that plan. So how do we do that? The first thing, now let me just, a quick recap. You see where we've been through the last couple of days. The value proposition, winner's image, showed you definite chief aim on day 1, then showed you how to do your own personal strategy map. And today I'm going to talk about ongoing implementation. So how do we get you to have that consistent success in the plans that you create, the feelings of consistent success within your life, like these guys that you see on your screen here, who have all had decades of success. Serena Williams, Roger Federer, Tom Brady in their different sports. And there's lots of athletes like this who are able to achieve at a high level of consistent success. How do they do that? So yesterday I shared with you the concept of the ability, the need to have more, without not trying to go too hard all the time. It was the myth of going hard. The myth of going hard creates, but aiming for consistent success instead. So what I want to share with you today is the fact that not only do you have to make sure you get your energy levels right, to make sure that you are not going out too hard and you're crushing and burning, which is what happens when you go for peak performance all of the time. What you need to do is make sure that you surround yourself with the right people. So if you're watching this, this is streaming on a couple of different mediums. If you're watching this from within our private group, then you are amongst a community of like-minded people who wants to be here to make a difference, who are happily able to stand up for what they believe strongly and to be able to do that in a way that respects others. So I'll give you an example, and I'll share with you openly. I have a certain view on what's happening in the world at the moment, which is probably against what most people think. But however, and sometimes I go in, I put some posts up on social media, and I was a bit active last year, and I weaned off. But my views are not necessarily shared with the majority of people that you may see. But I put them out there because I put a lot of thought and research into my beliefs. And when somebody has an objection, and usually they come back pretty hard and they're pretty abusive, my response is just a nice, cool, I hear you, but here's what I think. I don't enter into personal kind of abuse. And that's because I come from a position of understanding of what I believe in, because I put a lot of thought and it adheres to my values, and I've done a lot of thinking and work on understanding what my values are. So if you, what that does, it helps me be amongst people that, like yourself, who have the same kind of values and being in the similar kind of company. So if you're finding yourself surrounded by people that you're not getting along with, if you're finding yourself stressed because you're arguing with your family, spouse, friends, maybe you've got different points of view, I would encourage you to step back, because at the moment there's a lot of division in the world. Step back and have a think about what's important to you and your values. Because if you come from that place of personal values, that's a position of love and giving, as opposed to defensiveness in terms of, well, here's what I believe. If you don't believe me, then you must be a loser, which is where a lot of the world seems to be going, right? So surrounding yourself with like-minded people is essential and crucial for you achieving consistent success. I give you an example. Last year's Tour de France still happened during with COVID and everything, so they still managed the games the tour to go on. The winner there, Tadej Pogačar, the whole tour is quite amazing. It's over 3 weeks. They ride a distance of 3.4 thousand kilometers, just over 2,000 miles over 3 weeks, 21 stages, 22 teams. So it's a grueling event, and each day they ride for about 6 hours a day, burning 6,000 calories. Right, so you've got to be high elite level athlete to do it. But the thing about the winner, Tadej Pogačar, and all those people there you see in the top 10, in fact, every team in there, is that one word there, team. So the reason this guy was able to stand on the podium at the Champs-Élysées on the last day of the Tour de France was because he didn't do it alone. Tadej Pogačar had a team of riders within his group who were riding with him to ensure that he won, because he was riding representing the group. Now, some of these guys' jobs were purely just to pace other riders, was just do whatever they needed to do strategically to make sure that their team got on top. And he was a representative of the team he gets to wear that jersey personally, but it's a team effort, right? So that's the team on the field, on the course. As well as that, you had support crew, you had cars there, you had medics, you had the dropping off everything that they need to do to give the right supports to Tadej to win. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pretty crazy how they change their tires while they're still riding. So it's a massive amount of support just so that this person can win the Tour de France. And they do this for every single race. Now, not only that, you've got the team day, but there's also the massive amounts of support, the sponsorship, the financial. There's also, when you look at the actual team behind the scenes in the actual team, the Emirates team, you have got, there's up to 60 staff just managing the whole one single event, just so that he can get up there and win the Tour de France. You got the board advisors, you got health trainers, technical staff, chefs, everything that's required to win. So for you to be in the game, for you to win your game, to be able to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, it's going to be much, much more difficult for you to do that when you are alone than if you had a team. Now, and you know this from experience. I'm sure you've tried, and you think about the times you've been successful in something, surely there's been somebody else there or a team with you. The key to the right success is choosing the right team. And choosing the right team comes down to you being amongst people who understand you and what you're trying to achieve, as opposed to people trying to influence you in ways that are not congruent with your values. So if you need to take some time to understand that, and that's the sort of work that we do. I'm going to show you how we can help you within that coming up. But right now, I just want you to reflect on that for a little bit and just take pause and understand how important it is for you to spend time understanding your values and where you're heading, and so that you can get inside the right team and have the right team working for you. So that's number one in today. It's very difficult for you to go it alone. Everybody that's done anything that I can think of has done it alone. Like even Frank Sinatra, even though he sings that song, I Did It My Way, he had a team with it. Sir Edmund Hillary climbed Mount Everest. He had a team with him. He had a Sherpa with him called Tenzing Norgay. They did it together. When you interview Sir Edmund Hillary, ask him who stepped first on the top of Mount Everest, he will not tell you, because he and Tenzing Norgay share that victory together. So, and he would say the same thing. That's the importance of having a team that can literally, pardon the corny pun, but can get you to the top of Everest. So now that's the team. You have the team in place. I'm going to share with you some research on what the team can actually do to help you achieve your goals. Right. And this is research that was done over 20 years ago. So I know right now, especially, people love to see evidence and love to see research of things done. So I've got evidence personally within my business and working with clients and building it up and selling it to a global company. I want to share with you some research from a university that shows you the things that you need to get your team to do for you so that you can achieve the success that you want to achieve. Now, the first thing that you need to get them to, this research comes from the Dominican University of California, and it's a study that focuses on strategies for achieving goals and resolutions. What they did in this study was that they had people from all over the world. They had 267 participants over various ages, different countries and regions, various kinds of backgrounds, occupations, and so they can get a really, really good cross-section of people. And then what they did, they broke them up into 5 groups. The first one, they got people to think about their goals. So that's what everybody does. Generally, they think about their goals. So, okay, I've got a goal. Even if you don't think you do, you might have a goal just to wake up. So you've got a goal. Everybody has goals that they think about. The second group, they got to actually ask them to write down their goals. Okay, think about it. I'm going to physically write it down. The third group, they asked them to also write action commitments. So these action commitments are what I'm going to do when I've done my goal. Right. And then the fourth group they got was also to share with a friend. So I've thought about my goal, I've written it down, here's the action items I'm going to do, and then I'm going to share it with my friend to tell them what my goal is and what I'm going to do. Now, the last group, if you can think about what that is, the last group, what they got them to do was to provide weekly goal progress updates to their friend. So if you think about it, that's a spectrum of 5 different groups. I'll show you just to clarify. So you can see here, here's the groups. So here's a group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one, everybody thought about their goals. The second group wrote them down. Second group onwards wrote them down. It's only the last group that did everything. So thought about it, wrote them down, wrote the action commitments, shared it with a friend, and then reported back into their friend every week. So the types of goals that they did were pretty varying. I mean, they weren't just pretty minor. They weren't menial goals. One wanted to complete projects, increasing income, life balance, reducing anxiety, learning a new skill. So there's lots of different goals that people try to achieve. And in terms of actually completing a project, these are the sort of projects that were completed after this control group. People wrote book, completed websites, hired employees, and secured contracts. So they were in that kind of, even a hostile takeover. So even that environment of goal achievement, they were able to achieve these things. So what did the results show? The results showed, which you probably won't be surprised with in the first one, is that if you had unwritten goals, so don't worry about what this number means. This number is just in terms of a metric that the study used in terms of outcome. So obviously the higher the outcome, the higher the number, the better the outcome. So the unwritten goals versus written goals gave people an actual 50% greater chance of achieving goals when they are written. So a lot of people, even if you're watching this, I'm betting that you would have at least written down some goals in the past. So if that's you, then you've got a 50% greater chance of achieving those goals than when you had have just sort of thought about it. And reflect on that, because that probably makes sense to you and you're thinking about that right now, and there's evidence in your actual outcomes. So we'll go through these ones individually to show the actual increase in the change in the journey. It's very interesting. So the first group had unwritten goals. So here's the outcome. So that 4.28 is the metric of the outcome in terms of achieving that goal. When you write it down, this is what we just shared with you. There's a 50% greater chance of achieving that goal. When you write down the actions, this is you putting in some commitment. Interestingly, what they found in this control group is that the likelihood of increase of is decreased. Likelihood of you achieving your goals decreases because you've been given some actions to do. So it comes from something lofty and nice and thinking, okay, great, I'll write them down, into saying, okay, well, if you're going to goal, you got to do something, so go and do them. So you actually decrease, and we saw this in our practice where people actually, this is what I was saying before, they write a goal, they get excited. When you give them actions to do, they don't do them. But if you actually make a commitment to a friend, that increases by 20%. So from actually you not doing it, so it actually increases overall. So if you write your goals down and then you actually have a commitment to a friend, your likelihood of achieving them is really important. So I know a lot of people don't like to share their goals, or they're pretty secretive, they don't want to jinx them. That may work for you, but the studies here show that sharing your goals gives you a higher chance of success than if you keep them to yourself. So the last group, which is the clincher for you, shows that when you report back to your friend or the person that you're meant to, you have it increases even more. So if you go from here, from say unwritten goals, just thinking about it, go through. Sorry, I keep going on the rest. Go from here, unwritten goals, just thinking about it, going through the process of actually just the progress to reporting them in, what you will find is that you will have a 78% greater chance of achieving goals when you track your progress. 78%. Now, that's a really good return on your investment of time. 78%. It's very difficult to get that anywhere else. Now, that requires some effort, obviously. It requires commitment. It requires you pulling people in and you actually going through a process where you have goals, etc. All right. So in order to do this, you're going to need to take some steps. So look, this is pretty nice when you think about it. Intuitively, it makes sense. So what are some of the barriers around this? Some of the barriers to you actually doing this in here is, well, who are my friends that I come to share with? How do I get those goals? How do I write down those actions? I mean, how do I know what I need to do and when? Now, there is a lot of people that we can help you in that, which is what I'm going to transition into. Okay, so I'm going to invite you now into being part of, I'm going to invite you to invite us to be your team to help you achieve your goals. And I'm going to show you the program that we've developed that encompasses a lot of the things that you've done. And we've got existing people on this already. And it is going to be really exciting because it means that you can implement something pretty much straight away. And what I've created around this was, I had this in mind. Think about it. I had people that weren't paying thousands to do a plan. they weren't implementing them. And so I needed to create a way for people to actually make it easier, but also have some kind of accountability in there and some kind of team to make it happen. Just like you can sort of win the Tour de France with a team, you can win your goals by having the right team. And what I have for you here is this. I've created a program that's called these are the planning tools that we use within financial planning. And they'll be launching them into our planning business, which I'm going to tell you about later in another session. But today, I just want to introduce you to these 4 tools. Now, the first one is we've talked about the strategy map the last 3 days. Now, we've got a whole series of this in workshops that we can work with you one-on-one so that you can deliver your values, understand, document what your values are, reframe your winner's image so you can be the winner that you know that you are. Get those goals that inspire you beyond just getting by, that inspire you, inspire others. As well as that, we will create the strategy map on a plan on a page, really easy and succinctly to help you get there. And then so that's step number 1, right? The next step is, okay, great. Now I need to actually live it. So we've got a scorecard process. We will sort of get you benchmarked, and then we'll show you how to plan out every week. And online, we'll sort of benchmark that in our progress meetings. You'll get reports regularly to know exactly how you're going. As well as that, I'm going to help you live your plan each week. I'm going to literally sit down and show you where you should do what in terms of giving you enjoyment and the joy back in your life, as well as so you can achieve your goals. So that's the process that we're going to go through. Now, some of the tools added on that we're going to add into this is that I know that this is all very exciting. People get excited with this, but sometimes what happens is you've got some kind of maybe some financial sort of cash flow blockages because bills come up, life gets in the way, and this being an advisor, one of these tools, knowing, understanding your cash and having ease and feeling confident in that level of your life opens you up to be able to have a better conversation in terms of having great goals. So I'm bringing into this program 2 things. The first thing is the 5 steps to cash flow breakthrough so that you can start having a breakthrough on your personal cash flow immediately. When I say immediately, you've got to do what it says, obviously, but there's some tips in there, and this is all online. It's you can do it on your own pace, and there's workbooks. We'll work with you so that you can actually see how you're tracking towards financially. The second thing that I'm going to bring in is the automated cash flow manager. This is a tool that I created personally through and developed with my experience being an advisor, knowing what people want. And this will automatically collate all your accounts, so you don't have to do any more spreadsheets. So that makes it really easy for you. So if we can help you out on the first piece, getting your cash flow sorted and having that nice, then we can start thinking big in terms of having your personal strategy map and then keeping you accountable. So let me go through in a little bit of detail on what those look like. Okay, so your personal strategy map series is really simple. You've got video modules and workbooks, reframe your winner's image, help your personal value proposition and your definite chief aim. Now, those were explained clearly in video number 1. So watch that if this is not making sense, or message us and I will do a one-on-one with you and talk you through this. And we'll complete your personal strategy map, which is that plan on the page. The same tool that businesses use around the world, listed companies use. They spend millions of dollars on this one tool. They get teams in to create something for a corporation. I've reframed that for personal use. So for your own personal life, that's video number 2. If you haven't watched it, watch it now, and we will create that for you. Okay, so this is designed to help people understand and document your personal values and to use this as a basis for creating your personal goals. So this covers every area of your life. And so we've got that. It's sitting there, it's ready, it's waiting for you. That's step number 1. We create that personal strategy map series. And then when we've done that, we're going to start the benchmarking side. So we'll give you progress checks on how you're going towards your goals. I'm going to give you, this is an online tool where you go inside and you answer some questions and then be able to log in, and then we'll sort of re-answer them and you'll see how you're tracking along there, and we'll work with you on a project to make that happen. Then we're going to let you to live your planning your week and your ideal week using those 11 ingredients in the Recipe for Life process, which you will see in video number 2. Go and watch that. We're 11 ingredients in your life that cover every area in your life in 11 things. We will show you how to do that. And I'm going to literally show you what to do and when in your calendar to make sure that you're actually achieving not only achieving your goals, but doing it in a way that you're having fun and enjoying life, right? So that's your planning sort of side. We're going to kick that off by looking at your cash flow and the 5 steps to cash flow breakthrough. As I mentioned, it's an ebook, so it's easy, simple. It's got video modules. You can watch them at your own pace when you want to. We've got workbooks in there that are really easy for you to look into, plus real actionable items in this workbook, in this book here. Actual items where you will start saving and boosting your cash flow literally from week 1, should you choose to. So this is in here. We've been selling this quite a while now, and it's used a lot of experience that I've had having financial planning clients. So this has made a difference, and you've seen some comments from some people within the group who boosted their cash flow by using this. The next thing is in terms of the automated cash flow manager. What that is, this is a program that's based around, so let's say you've got this in board and you say, this is great. I know what I need to do, and I know that these little modules, these cash flow breakthroughs, but how am I actually doing? What do I need to do to make these breakthroughs? Well, what we'll do is we'll cut out one of those jobs for you. I know that in the past, remember the days before you used to be able to download your on an Excel spreadsheet, your bank transactions. You used to pull out your monthly accounts and you go through and have a look at it. Now you can download them, and still then you've got to sort it, and it may take you some time to actually work out where your money's going. I know some of the banks have got individually, they've got different kinds of cash flow tools that you may not have looked, but they're there. So what I've done is I've actually created a tool that brings in all the different accounts. So like personally, we've got maybe 3 different banks. So it takes me 3 different spreadsheets to know where our money's going. So rather than doing that, we've created a tool where we can get in all your 3 different bank feeds, for example, with bank level security, and collate all the accounts from multiple institutions. Any in Australia and in New Zealand, and we're going to be launching into the US and the UK in the near future. Within this, it's uncomplicated and it's got relevant information on there. I have used lots of bank tools, these cash flow tools in the past as a financial advisor, and they were so confusing that clients never used them. So we've watered it right down. You get to see the information that you need, and that's it. And then we'll use this and help you towards tracking to getting your cash flow breakthrough. So this is bank level security. So it's trusted by. This is the group that we use down here. It's called BASIQ, BASIQ. They are trusted by UBank, Westpac, NAB. They use these. These are the guys that help us bring in the data feeds of your transactions into this. We use AWS, which is an Amazon system. That's the same system that's used by the US military. So it's extremely secure, as secure as it can be online, and the same level as the banks. BASIQ, BASIQ, these guys here, you may have heard of Afterpay. They're a large company in Australia. They've just invested $10 million into these guys in BASIQ. So that's public information. So that just want to share that with you to show you that you're with some pretty reasonable company when you're talking about this tool, and that we've been able to partner with to help take our clients, including you, which is you, up to that next level. All right. So how much does this all cost? What this sort of come down to? These kind of 4 things. Normally we would see, there was an article the other day out in the Financial Review that said the average price of a financial plan is like $3,500. And most people prefer to pay $500. So there's this massive kind of gap in there. So these tools are not financial planning tools. They're not financial advice tools. So I'm not creating a financial plan here. So this is really, really important for you to remember, because this is just me giving you information. So we'll help you create your strategy map and your plan in terms of your personal plan. But when there's financial advice involved, then we'll need to get you onto a financial advice kind of offer. But I'm able to help you out pre-financial advice in the following way. And it's been really exciting because, I've just tried for years, I wanted to work out a way, how can we help people get into this, to their advice, to the financial advice, without seeing the advisor and paying thousands of dollars first up? How can we help people just to get kick-started, or people who are too busy, who know they need to do something? How can we help them? So what I've got for you is this. Here's what it normally kind of costs, right? So this here, you get the 5 steps to cash flow breakthrough, $179. That's a 5 module program that's online. It's a massive amounts of value. People get that money back within a week because of saving that money simply. The automated cash flow manager is $10 a month. So just price that out there. That's $120 within that. And that just goes towards covering that cost of sort of running it. There's no profit in that for us. The personal strategy map series is where we sit down with you one-on-one. That's valued at $1,200. And this is, we'll take whatever it takes. Normally it takes about 3 to 4 sessions at an hour a go to try and get this right for you. I can bring that down to maybe 3, but really it's up to you. And the last piece, that My Life Plan scorecard, because that's an annual piece, that's $997. So when you look at all this in here, the value that you're getting in here is over $3,000 worth of value just in this in here, right? Now, I know I came here and I said, I don't want people to be paying thousands of dollars. I want to help people just to sort of get a foot in the door and give them some massive value so they can start making some great changes in their life. So we're not going to be giving this at $3,046 because that's just not, the market's just not there for that, right? So that's just how it is. I'm going to chuck in a bonus $550 strategy map implementation session here so we can have a chat one-on-one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to have a conversation with me. We're going to talk about this thing first. That's the step number 1. If you're ready to move on to actually getting in, say, no, Jason, let's just get moving. Let's book in that session anyway and let's start getting that personal strategy map series. Then great, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this right down, and I'm priced this down at $97 a month for 3 months, which is $291. So $97 a month for 3 months at $291 means that you can start this process pretty much straight away. And I'm going to just sort of try and see if I can get this. So that pretty much straight away, guys. So what that means is that from right now, you have the ability to start making a difference in your life and implementing things and getting the processes that we had. So I've spent now an hour and a half over the last 3 days sharing with you how we help people, giving you the tools on how we help people so you can go out there and do them yourself. So this will stay up online for about another week at this stage. I might stay up longer. It depends on the feedback. But my goal, my aim is for this to come down because I want to give you a window of time to look at it, to start implementing things on your own. If you don't have the time to do it on your own, or you would like some help, then for $97 Australian, then all you need to do is go to this website, mylifeplan.com/special offer, fill in your details, and we will start straight away. If you've got any other questions, you want to book in the time, I'm open, guys. I mean, I really want to get this out there. This makes a difference. I have people in tears when they speak to me with these programs. We go deep, we get to understand you, we get to know what drives you, and then most excitingly, we map in some goals into those, and that inspires you. And the world right now needs more people that are inspired, more people that get on there and can say what they feel and think with conviction, but with respect, and coming from a place of giving. And that's my mission in this, is to create that kind of community within the world. So that's it. I said it'll be 30 minutes, and I've just gone over by 3. But that's it, guys. You'll get the personal strategy map series. You get the My Life Plan scorecard plan each weekly. You will have the automated cash flow manager and the 5 steps to cash flow breakthrough. Amazing amounts of value for $97 a month for 3 months. So get in there. I'll come back in. I'm going to be boosting this back up again. But write that down, guys. mylifeplan.com/special offer. Get in there, have a look at it. If you've got any questions, drop me a line. Let's be visual, let's be open, let's transparent. You've got some issues with it, just drop a comment. I'll come back in, the team will come back in, and let's get the show on the road. It is the end of April. Let's start May on that awesome note. Okay, guys, look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers, bye.